You're dry. You're dry. Is he just... Hello. I thought I would take you through my post everything shower routine, skincare, body care. I'm just gonna turn the TV down. So sorry about that. Tamatatini is on, and the TV has been on all day because I love Tamatatini. It is so beautiful. If you don't know what it is like the Kapa Haka competition in New Zealand. Kapa Haka is dance haka. Not dance, sorry, it's chant. Haka, waiata, so song. And it is the most beautiful, powerful thing to watch ever, especially if you're Māori. Just like, for me, growing up in Australia, I guess it feels like a sense of belonging, and it feels like I don't know how to explain. It's just, they call it like warua, like your spirit, and like I can feel it in me when they sing and when they do haka. Like, you can feel their energy, even though I'm watching it on TV. Just like if you watch a haka on TV or on Instagram or social media or something, and you start crying, and it's because you're supposed to be, it's because you're feeling their warua, like you're feeling their energy and you're feeling their spirit that they're putting in, and it's being received by you, and that's a pretty powerful thing. So I've been watching it basically all week, and it is so nice, especially because I'm currently trying to learn te reo. I'm working on it, I promise, I swear. I'm getting better. Yeah, I'm currently doing an online course, which is very cool. Sorry, I just realized I used this hyaluronic complex serum. Not sure. Yeah, there we go. And then now I'm doing this Paulas Choice Moisture Renewal Oil. Yeah, so I'm doing a language course online, and it is so nice, but it's also, I'm a couple weeks behind because I've been away, and it makes me really anxious when I fall behind, because like I feel like I've missed out, and then it gets to the point where you're like, oh, well, I may as well just stop, and I have to try remind myself like that's not a good idea. So anyway, in the process of doing that, I also go to New Zealand next week, which is exciting. I'm actually going for my friend's 30th. I'm in the year where all my friends, actually not all my friends, lucky, some of my friends are turning 30. This is the Paula's Choice Super Antioxidant Concentrate Serum with vitamin C. Fights multiple signs of aging. See, as I turn 30, it is my 30th this year actually. I turned 30 in October, which is a really big bundle of emotions, I'm finding. I always thought, like, one of my best friends turned 30 maybe like 2 years ago, and you know, I always thought like I won't be anxious or anything. Like, aging is such a privilege, and it's like something that I have never felt self-conscious about or worried about. And I think what I feel most anxious and worried about is not just that I'm turning 30, but it's like the milestones that you have in your head that you feel like you should have achieved by now. Like, growing up, I thought I would have a baby, I thought I would have a house, I thought I would have a stable income, I thought I'd be successful in my career, whatever it is. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I thought that I would have all these things, and they're like the measures of success and how happy you are. But as I get older and I approach 30, I realize, wow, not many people actually have all those things, and it's not a sign of how successful or happy that you are. But also, like, freaking out a little bit because, you know, people say the quality of your eggs goes down after you turn 30, and then, you know, you want to be not too old when you're a mum because you want to have the energy to like carry them around and take care of them and be fun and full of beans. And I mean, I'm still full of beans. I still have so much energy, so I don't think your energy like randomly depletes when you turn 30, but I am finding that it's really tough, and tough as well, like in your relationship. It makes you question, like, okay, like if I want to do those things soon, is this the person that I want to be with? Is this who I see myself with? Is this the person I want to start a family with? And it kind of adds a lot of pressure to the relationship, because it's like you feel like you should have all these things figured out already, and you don't. And it's just a lot. Like, I just never thought about it before, but it's a lot. And I think that if you already have the house and the kids, I don't think that you experience this same level of anxiety when you're about to turn 30. I think it would be a lot different. And like, I know a lot of my friends on the Gold Coast, some of them already had the kids and the family, and so I don't feel like they would have felt this pressure and this anxiety in the same way. I mean, maybe they did about other things, but I think it really is about meeting those milestones. And I'm currently reading a book by Bridget Huswaite, and it is amazing. It is so validating to hear other people's stories. And it, at the start, she was talking about her breakup, and I was like, does that mean I should break up with my boyfriend? And then I was like, no. You're getting the wrong idea from this. But it has been so validating, because she talks about relationships, she talks about the whole kid debacle, and also like all these milestones that you think that you should have achieved. Because when you're younger, like when I was young, I thought I'd have everything figured out by the time I was 28. 28 was my year. It's also my favorite number, but like 28 was like, yeah, you're an adult, you've got everything you need, you've got the kid, you've got the house, you're married, blah blah blah. I've got absolutely none of those things, and I'm doing okay. But I do think it's really interesting. And she also talks about family relationships, and how, you know, it's actually really normal to not have a relationship with members of your family, but it's seen as very taboo, and you know, it's not spoken about. And I feel like it is very isolating when you don't have a good relationship with your family. It feels like you're kind of missing out on something that other people have. And then also add that to the mix of like, okay, you want to start a family, but like, is your family going to be involved in the family that you create? So there's just a lot of thoughts going on, a lot of, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but that's okay. We're figuring it out. And if you're approaching your 30s or you're in your 30s, I highly recommend that book. It is so good, so good. I haven't finished it yet. Pardon me. I haven't finished it yet, but sorry, that was watermelon. I see why they do that now. Watermelon Glow moisturizer. Anyway, so yeah, I think it started to cause a bit of doubts in my relationship, and I think it's kind of normal. Like, we are in therapy together, and it kind of got brought up as well, like, are we wanting to move forward with our relationship because we have some issues that I think is just a bit too personal to discuss. I feel like it's like the one part of my life that I'm not really, like, I'm happy to keep private, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, she was like, you know, you guys have to decide whether this is a relationship that you want. And I was like, look, to be honest with you, I have had a lot of doubts, and I think it really scared me, because last time this happened was obviously like with my ex-boyfriend, and we were together for 7 years, and it got to the point where it was like all consuming for me. Like, I couldn't think about anything else. Like, I just knew that he wasn't my person, and I let it consume me, and I waited too long, and you know, I made mistakes, and I thought about it literally for a year before I actually broke up with him. You know, I was like, it'll get better, and you know, this happens in long-term relationships and blah blah blah, but I think that I was just scared, and I told myself that I'll never be loved again, and no one will ever love me in this way. And I think that's something that we all kind of tell ourselves, whether we've been broken up with or like we want to leave a relationship. It's kind of like this narrative and this fear that plays in our heads that obviously isn't healthy, but I mean, how do you stop that? So I got in my head about being in my head and I was scared that I was basically going to do the same thing as I did last time. But I feel like now I have a bit more clarity, and I realize like doubts are normal in a relationship. Really need a towel. So normal in a relationship, and I think that when we put a lot of pressure on something, it makes it worse. And I think I was doing that because I was feeling so many things, and I still am. But I feel like I'm handling it a lot better now, and I've got a lot more clarity on like what it is that I want, and like who it is that I want, which is clearly him. And like I think I know now in myself that like I would be okay on my own. Like I am not somebody who needs anybody. And to be honest, like my partner doesn't really like when I say that, like I don't need you but I want you. But I think it's so much nicer to be wanted than needed. Like if I need you, it means that I'm depending on you, and I can't live without you, and like all those things are very like romantic testaments. But in reality, I don't need anybody other than myself, and I don't want to need anybody other than myself, because I've been independent for a very long time, and I just think that to be wanted is so much better than to be needed. And like, of course you want to be needed in times like when things are really hard. It's really nice to feel needed because you know that person values you, and that's different, I think. But to be needed in everyday life, I think that takes away from the special things in a relationship. Like I don't need you but I want you. I just feel like that is so much nicer. Like I don't know, I think that's just me. I actually don't know. That could be very controversial. I'd love to know your opinion. Tell me in the comments. But yeah, I don't know, for me I think it's like to do with dependency. Like I don't want to be dependent on anybody else, and I don't want them to be also dependent on me. Like I want us to be like two separate human beings who have a life together, and we're connected, but we're not like, and I think that's what happened in my last relationship, and I think that's why I'm like, oh no, don't do this. But anyway, that's a little rant. I have some cool jobs coming up. I've been very lucky to be basically working full-time on social media this year. That's pretty cool. I don't know, I feel like it's very surreal. Also, this is the deodorant I use. No stains. Very surreal because, like, what do you mean this is my job? But it also adds a lot of pressure. I think people don't realize, like, to be a certain way and to be, you feel like you have to be a certain person, but really you just have to be yourself. And so if you're looking to do social media, just do it and just be yourself. I think it comes with like a lot of bigger dreams and bigger goals, and then it's like, okay, but how do I do this? And that's really exciting. I haven't even moisturized. I've just been yup. I'm almost finished this moisturizer. It is one of my favorites. It's like it says it's a body serum. It's like a very lightweight moisturizer. But oh my god, where is it? Oh, this. I should have used this. Oh, this is so good, and it smells like mango, and mango is my favorite. I'm just moisturize my favorite fruit. So highly recommend if you really like mango. It just feels also so good on your skin. It smells good, and your girl is dry. And you're dry. And you're dry. Anyway, that's all I got today. Yeah, have the best day. Got a busy weekend of training this weekend, so that'll be fun. But anyway, love you. Remember how loved and worthy you are, and you are never, ever, 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 ever alone.